Good. Hello, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. It's been a little while since I've been on, so I'm sorry, but thank you so much for those that will be able to join. Just to give a moment for others to hopefully join. I did it a little later today. I didn't know for some if that helps, but we'll keep trying to be flexible and adjust and help people take care of themselves. So welcome to Massage Intuition and Wellness Wednesdays, self-care massage. I'll go ahead and get started because for those of you that may know, I often, and actually have been for the last 5 or 6 sessions, will post these live recordings right on my YouTube page. So to help condense time for those that may not have a lot to be able to invest in their self-care, we'll spend about 15 minutes, 20 minutes based on maybe questions or inquiries on how to do some of the techniques that we'll be focusing on today. So welcome to Massage Intuition. My name is Cindy Velez Mejia, licensed massage therapist. Been doing this for quite a while, massaging now almost 2 years as a licensed therapist. And I started doing the live sessions, I want to say the end of March, or actually April 1st, no Fool's Day joke, was when we started. Hey Kim, thanks for joining. So it's been going on for a while, and I thought at first, just help people relax with all that we're dealing with. Intentions just kept getting more and more, and it was well received. So here we are doing Wellness Wednesday. Today we're going to get into some interesting work that could be a bit of a challenge to do for yourself, and I'll explain that here in a moment. As a licensed massage therapist, we like to make clear that though we've studied and been licensed and passed national exams, we don't supersede or take over any prescriptions, diagnoses, any indications or doctor's orders that may say massage is contraindicated. So follow that first, but we are definitely here to help. So if you had a chance to see, and if you don't worry, because I will go over all techniques, but if you happen to have any cool tools or toys massage-wise that could benefit you, such as a foam roller, a lacrosse and or tennis ball, maybe take a moment to grab those. I'm going to go over techniques on how those can help. Today's session is focused on helping our lower back issues and our glutes. I think this has been a request that has come for a while to do glute work. And so I'd like to show you some techniques that can help. Normally I pretty much stay in one place. For this session I might need to move a bit because there's some techniques that will be really helpful if you could lay like on a yoga mat. I'm gonna avoid saying your bed because we want some pressure from, if it's a tennis ball or if you're gonna fist up, your hand or the tennis ball could kind of just fall into the mattress and prevent giving the pressure that we're looking for. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and get started on the lower back. So it's really gonna be dependent on kind of your wingspan, like how far back can you reach. And what I'm gonna recommend, this is the motion that I'm doing, is we're just gonna do round pushing in with really the palm pad. So, kind of hands on hips, we're gonna flip that around. So thumbs are facing down, fingers facing each other, kind of pointing in, and we're gonna start doing these round circles so our palms are actually pushing in on the lower back as close to the spine as you can get, and circle back out. So just pushing in those circles in and circles. When I say back out, I'm going to go to my side, back to the hip. So circle in and then circle back to the hip. Now, I'm focused on lower back, and we're not going to get technical, are you on the cervix and the thoracic area, the lumbar. So when I just reach back, it's just about at my hip level. Okay, and I'm doing those circles. okay? And when I say in, we're going to go medial or towards the spine. So more circles, more circles. Now we can go a little bit lower so that we're right at the top of our glute, pushing in, circles, in more, circles, in more. And your hands may have to adjust. So we may have started off where they were facing each other. We get lower, we may have to have our fingers actually facing downward, okay? Now to increase, because if you're familiar with my work, we want to warm up the muscle first. So that's what these circles are doing. To now increase or more deeper pressure, we can make, I always call it soft knuckle. So not a tight fist, but just a loose, like if you just close softly your hands, there's still kind of an opening. So as if you were mad, okay? So we're kind of, my husband calls this the superwoman pose. I seem to do it a lot. But a little bit further back, so not right at our hip. We're gonna go about an inch in, and we're doing those same circles, pushing in towards our back, right to on either side of the spine. This, to me, on immediate either side of the spine feels great. So we're gonna do these circles. Same concept, we work back out, and then go a little bit lower. And circles, we're right at the top of the glutes now, circles, and we're getting to either side of the lower back or maybe even your coccyx, and that kind of sticks out a bit so you can feel that. So make those circles. Okay, and back outwards and back out. Now, maybe you'd like to comment, maybe you're gladly just doing these techniques with me, which I'm happy to have you do. Welcome, Carlissa. Welcome, Odie. Thank you for joining. As you do those circles, if you find that, man, when we got right over the glute, Cindy, like for me right here, I really can feel that. Do not be surprised that often what we label as lower back pain is really tension in our glutes. The body really is all connected, and very often I've had clients that will say, I just want my back worked, my back hurts, and I'll dig a little bit, how long have you been coming for back treatment, and realize they've never had glute work done. And just think about, right, it's called gluteus maximus, one of the largest muscle groups, and it is used constantly, sitting, walking, running. So one, if you're increasing activity and you notice lower back pain, could very well be in your glutes. Most of you know me from the dance community. It is almost a must recommendation for our dance community to get the glutes worked out, because we do use them, repeated motion, isolations. It's a great way to help loosen that up. So again, we're kind of doing the soft knuckle. I tend to like stick with these two knuckles to really push in. If you have any questions at this time, jot them in. If you're feeling some relief or you found a trouble spot, please comment. I'll be happy to conversate with you as we go through. And let's try going a little bit lower. So we're getting right into glute work. So we're kind of right under the hip. Now we're going to go a bit more into our glute. To help with that, you can, again, do that stance a little bit lower, and we're going to get those soft knuckles. We're doing circular motion. So if I bring it out, this is what's happening with my hands. We're doing this circular motion, and this is what's happening with my hands. Welcome, Jay. So yeah, it's peach time glute work. All right, so we're just we've just done at the hip, so now we're going about an inch down, and we're going to do those circles, okay, and we're going to get in there. Now, please don't be afraid. I found some spots, okay? I don't like to talk to you when I'm not facing, and you have permission to look at my glutes. My husband approves. But as you do this, just notice my motion of my hands, because we're actually mid-glute. So your glutes, if we're kind of breaking out the muscle, it's a long muscle on top, but it's made of quite a few. So we have a gluteus maximus, gluteus minimus, and so they overlap. So circles or even C's, the letter C's for Cindy, are a really good technique because the muscles are layered, the fibers outline in a C formation. So I'm going to stop talking. You can watch and do with me. We're going again mid-glute, so we're at the hips, angry. We're pushing in. You should feel that push, and we're going to start to do circles and work towards the middle. I'll turn around quickly. You can watch, and then I'll talk when I turn back. I found my ouch spot. So right here, when I do these C's, ooh, yeah, I can feel that. If you are doing it with me, and I'm getting pretty close, right to where the glutes meet, so the center of the gluteus. If you do identify a spot, like, ooh, right there, if you can reach, this does require some good range of motion. If you don't have that, I'm going to suggest some things like a tennis ball and lacrosse that can help it be just as effective. But for those of us able to reach around, if you find that spot that, oh, I can feel that, stay doing your C or full circle. And remember it for when I talk about how some of these tools can help so that we can really work that out. Now we're just testing our range. We can go a little bit lower. So again, at the hip, but lower. So you've been, we kind of like 1, top of the hip, 2, mid hip, 3, I'm kind of almost at that hip joint. I can feel that bone. Okay, so let's start to circle in again. A little tip, almost kind of stealing from, if you've ever been a student of mine at this class, we want to avoid clenching our butt cheeks right now, which is probably an innate automatic. The body's, whenever I massage someone's glutes, the body just kind of clenches. So you may have to shake a little bit, or you may have to just be aware, like, ooh, when I went lower, I noticed I'm tightening, and you could just step away, shake from side to side. But we want those muscles loose. Trying to loosen a tense muscle, probably don't have to explain that. So you want to make sure that those muscles stay loose. If you are struggling with reaching some of these, it's hard to reach, my arm hurts or something, get a little stool, something that can now expose. The only thing to be careful is obviously in this position, it's flexing a little, so I'm not stepping hard. It's really light. I probably will lean more on this leg to expose this glute, okay? Yeah, I found the spot. So this might be really helpful. If you're in a room, just on the couch, if you can get 1 foot lightly on the sofa and make a little wider stance and lean on the opposing foot. It's kind of like you're going to show me your glute. Go ahead and do those circles again. Do those C's and see if you do identify. And now, because we're just doing one, like a circle, kind of work your way all the way around. So you could work the perimeter of your glute. Has anyone referred to it like that? And almost like a spiral. Start to do, like if you're drawing a circle that goes, gets tinier in the center, work all the way through. Ooh, I needed this, guys. Thank you. I can definitely feel that. Let's go ahead and do that other side so we feel balanced. A light up. So again, wider stance. Make your balance, not like we do in dance, but make your balance be on the on the ground foot so that this glute is exposed. And let's go ahead and do those circles. Don't be too kind to yourself, right? We're trying to release tension, so we're still right in there. We are pushing in. We want to feel that tension. And really, all that we've done is more detailed isolation. We've exposed the muscle. So when we're standing, the glute maximus, the minimus are overlaying, and they're working. They're always working. But as we loosen it, now we've just exposed, so we've got a bit of the minimus and the medius exposed. So in short, there's 3 layers. When you do this, you expose more of them. So if you feel more tension, that's because an underlying muscle needed some relief. So yes, yeah, gluteus perimeter, that's what I went with. Great. How is that feeling so far? You're just standing and doing the circles, and now putting the foot up, exposing the gluteus, and doing those circles. Have you found any tension spots? Hearts, thumbs up. I don't like to make you have to stop and type. I apologize. But yeah, just let me know if you are feeling that. Often with this too, just the stretching aspect. So we've kind of gotten, tighter in there, bending over, and just heavy weights on the arms, letting the back just really stretch out as low as you can go, is a very useful tool. That stretch does engage the glutes as well. So that's a great way to really open that up. Now, if you're ready to handle deeper work in the gluteus area, I'm going to suggest a couple of tools. If you don't have things like a tennis ball, a handball that doesn't really give, a lacrosse ball, let me show you the technique with your closed fist, and we're going to anchor. So we're going to need the wall. So we're going to do the same motion, but now it's a closed fist, and I am placing that fist right up against the wall. Obviously, I'm going to find where I need to. My recommendation, I'm saying put that fist up against the wall. You're going to angle it a little bit because your knuckles are going to serve as the equivalent to a lacrosse ball or that type of thing. So stand up against the wall, step forward just a little bit so that my closed fist can get behind. I put mine right in the middle of the glutes this time. So I'm not really, unless you felt tension up here. So really my advice to you would be, where was your tension spot? Go ahead and get the fist in that spot. So if it's upper glutes or really your lower back, if it was for me, the middle of the glute. So I'm gonna lean into the wall a bit. So did you notice how I angled my feet, went a little bit further out? And now two things can happen based on your strength and ability. You can either do these circles like your fists, right? You're pushing your glutes up against your fist, but your fists are still doing this motion. So it's increasing the pressure, which is probably the easiest way. So I'm leaning further. I'm pushing my butt up against the wall. Ooh, and my hands are doing circular motion. And if I can get my hands to not only, but maybe even turn a little bit. So now my knuckles are really exposed and I'm moving around. Or you could leave your hands stationary and move around just your glutes, moving from side to side, up and down. And I can definitely feel on my right cheek, I can definitely feel that motion happening. It can go a little bit lower to get to other muscles. So in this case, I'm moving my glutes from side to side. For my quisomberos, I'm kind of doing a basic one, not very good form, and I'm letting the muscles work into my knuckles. That's one round. If you have a handy dandy lacrosse ball, which I highly recommend, these are fantastic. This can be done sitting on a yoga mat, which actually would be pretty intense pressure. So you might want to adjust that, or practice just up against the wall. Same concept. Where was my sore spot? I go up against the wall, step up a little bit, just enough to get the ball back there. And if I can find, if I don't know it right away, right? I put the ball there and I push my butt back to pinch the ball between the wall, and I can start to move. I can move side to side, especially if I've gotten to the area. I can move up and down. Ooh, I feel that. You could do a full circle. This could be some Darash exercise, right? I can do a full circle. And if you find, like right here, I found a spot where I have tension, The real suggestion for releasing that is to actually hold it there. So if this spot is where I feel, oof, that actually is sore hurt, hold it there and deep breathe. Until some of that pain dissipates, but no more than about 90 seconds. And then move it. Okay? Now, if you're up to a challenge, I guess you could try 2 lacrosse balls and see if you can manage on each side. I recommend we did the right side. We can test to see if the left side has. Now, if you didn't find any tension, this is a great way with extra pressure to maybe just move the ball around and see if you do feel any pressure. And I actually, nothing like what was on my right side. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But it does not mean that we're not doing anything by just pushing the ball in a circle or up and down or side to side on this cheek. Here's a little extra on that piece too. I have found that when I do this exercise with the ball up against the wall, if, of course, you've got a central or a spot in there that really needs to be worked, you can work it out. But try this so that you also get, the gluteus maximus is not just linear, it's, right, we kind of talked about, it's got a very unique shape. So if you're pushing up against the wall, try turning your body towards the right so that you get the outside, perimeter of your gluteus. And then I am actually just lifting my foot and not off the ground, just like this, toes staying down, and I really have a sore spot in this area. I can go a little bit lower, still looking this way, and it really allows for the release of tension. Same on the other side. You may not have intense tension in the center of the gluteus, so while pushing the ball back, this is the body, rotate, because this is what will happen with the ball. Rotate, so now it gets to that side of the gluteus. I hope that explanation makes sense. What, if any, questions do you have for me? Anybody doing this with me and have a right sore glute or a left sore glute with me? I will tell you, I highly recommend Lacrosse Balls for massage technique. I use them just as you see. I know this isn't glute and lower back, I apologize, but my thumb pads desperately need it. I've used it to roll on my arms. I've used it on my neck and the back. So the same concept. I don't want to be redundant, but if your situation is more a lower back issue, same concept. You can get that into the lower back and you can actually roll it all the way left to right. You could do circles for your lower back or mid back. You could pivot. That's what I meant to say before, so that it can get both sides of it. Okay, tennis ball is really effective too. Tennis balls are more malleable, so they may give in a little bit, but it may still supply the pressure that you're looking for. So that's it with the lacrosse ball. For your lower back, the same concept that we talked about when we started, Superwoman pose, higher, right? So hip and lower, we're really identifying the glute. Kind of right under the rib cage, and in is going to give us our lower back. All that I would suggest for self-massage lower back is we did this technique where we did the circles in towards the spine, go down an inch. Same concept you could do if you can reach cross, that's great, and go around. The same concept with the lacrosse. To get deeper, you know, it'll be flesh to flesh. So if you've warmed it up over the clothes, now lift the shirt, or maybe you've in the shower, grab some lotion or Massage Intuition Body Care, and just expose your flesh so that now you're doing these circles on skin to skin, and work your way towards the spine, both sides. Again, starting right here, just under the rib cage, work in towards the spine and pull out. And really depends on your comfort level. I mean, you could turn these hands the other way, and when you're doing it with that body butter or lotion, you can just pull those muscles out towards the side. And I will also show a useful tool. Someone had commented that they have these but don't always know how to use them. So a foam roller, and mine, as you notice, has different texture types. That's really a preference. It might hurt to use this side, but these flatter edges may be good, or you might have a real tension issue and need this. That's really the difference. So for the foam roller on the back, same concept. Okay, so I'm going to get it either to the troubled area or I just want to see what that feels like. I'm slightly angled, so if you can't see my feet, I'm kind of like this, right? So I'm pushing back, and I could just go down, go higher in the back, or I could raise up on the tippy toes, but I'm pushing into the wall. And I might have to alternate feet just to get that pressure. Same thing, a little bit lower. Okay, so I'm really feeling. I can go up and down. You can use the foam roller on your glutes, and that may be where the extra tension and ridges would be really helpful to apply. And some have found the most effective way, I've done it side to side, is just to have it upright. So kind of put it right there at my spine, because now it's getting, do you see that? I can get some of my glutes as I pivot, and it gets my lower back. Okay, you could lean further back. Maybe you found a really good spot for it. All of these techniques that I've just done, standing up, troops, is really effective lying down. So I think my angle is going to let you see if I do just a quick example of how to utilize the lacrosse ball and the foam roller lying down. So for the lacrosse ball, we're going to lie feet flat on the ground, legs shoulder width apart, and knees towards the ceiling. So we get in that position. Excellent. I'm going to lift my left butt cheek up. Well, I'm going to lift both of them out, but I'm going to put this underneath the left butt cheek. And I'm going to slowly go down, because if you have a sore spot, just plopping down on that could be painful. And we're going to do the same motions we did on the wall, side to side. We can do circles all the way around. We could just go up, I say up and down, but rolling up and down. And you could just keep readjusting where that lacrosse ball is. And if you remember the suggestion, if we find that spot, ooh, there's some pain there, we hold it there. No more than 90 seconds. We deep breathe until we can feel a decrease in that pain. We would then switch this over to the other cheek to do the same thing. Great, great technique. I do recommend some type of padding, even if it's just a blanket thrown on. And if you missed earlier, some of the discouragement against doing this on your bed is that your mattress may give in, and so the real tension release that you're looking for from the pressure might be compromised. Same with your foam roller. I'll show this more for the lower back. So I'm actually I'm already kind of in that position, legs shoulder width apart, feet flat, knees towards ceiling, and I've already got it laid out by my lower back. And this, I might actually have to pelvic up to roll over. And I can roll back and forth, especially when I have found a good spot where I feel it releasing some tension. And it could release tension in your spine or the actual back. This can be worked to go a little lower, or you could do glute work on this too. It's often recommended to concentrate on one glute to cross your legs. So now my left glute is really the predominant one getting the tension. I can pivot, if you will, so that there's greater tension on there. But a really good release. I will tell you, we've taken a bit of time to go through technique and modality, but glute work with a lacrosse ball or with a foam roller, 5 to 7 minutes maximum. Just because of its isolation ability, and you're looking to just release some of that tension. You don't want to just sit on a lacrosse ball in a certain area for long periods of time to cause damage and or pain. Something I often tell my clients, and I'll gladly share with you, is massage need not hurt to be effective. And often, if it gets past the good hurt, ooh, I feel that, but that's a nice release, it just hurts, you will return to similar or worse pain the next day, because a muscle can be worked so long to get loosened, but if it's overworked, it starts to release chemicals and toxins in the muscle that will engage it to tighten back up, or even worse than it was before. So I often tell people, does it hurt? But if it's not the good hurt, then we need to stop. So same thing here, especially because many of you are doing this self-care. If you are working your glutes and that feels good and you probably could stay on it longer, just stick to the recommendations to avoid some repercussions after for overworking a muscle. Just like true exercise, right? You can overwork and tear or hurt muscles worse than before. So we did some manual modality on the lower back and glutes. My glutes are feeling it for sure. We went ahead and went over lacrosse technique, and then we went through foam rollers and even just how to utilize a wall versus a floor. If you are comfortable and really experiencing lower back pain, or what I'll call acute onset, that might even slightly be inhibiting mobility, I recommend the floor. First step, as long as you have no contraindications, and I recommend a lacrosse ball to provide immediate relief. If this is new to you, try just laying on the floor. Even at a 90 degree, so these are your feet up on a sofa, and your knees are at 90, and you scoot your glutes as close to the chair or the sofa and just lay out. Try that first. And if that doesn't offer enough relief, you can try tennis ball, would be step 1, lacrosse ball for real great release of tension on the lower back. Why did I put lower back and glutes together? Because you have to. If you are having lower back issues, there is a high chance and probability you're having problems with your glutes. And if you're having problems in your glutes, they will tighten your lower back muscles. That works the other way too. We didn't go over this time hamstrings, but same kind of concept. So I hope that you all enjoyed and benefited somewhat from this session. I always want to commend you for carving out just a little bit of time for self-care. It's so important. Take care of you so you can take care of others, families, children going back to school or not going back to school. It's just a small way that I can try to offer the help that I wish I could come out and offer physically to each of you. But it was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for following and supporting. Massage Intuition Body Care is also available. If you're interested in how, I had a client today that says, what do you use that's not oily and greasy but feels good? My own body butter. I love to take care of you and I love making these products. So I'll put that in the comments. MI Body Care website has a store. And we've just come out with a baby line, which I received fantastic feedback on. So diaper balm and a calming baby cream is coming out. Definitely reach out to me for any of that. I am available for virtual massages. Those are a thing. They actually work. Think about what we got here today. Thank you to you loyal repeat visitors that are like, this is useful. So imagine a one-on-one session where I can hone on just your challenges and see what you have available to use. So please reach out to me. Follow me on Massage Intuition, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Please, looking to increase my followers. I look forward to seeing you soon. For sure, in 2 weeks, we'll be together again live. Hit me with questions. Hit me with ways that I can help. I definitely want to help you. If you're back to work, I'd love to do stuff for schools. Some employers are reaching out for virtual sessions. I'm here to help. I love helping, so I'd love to be able to provide. Thank you for investing time. If you have no questions, please share this. Let individuals know. It'll be posted on the YouTube page. Join us in 2 weeks. Follow Massage Intuition to stay updated. Stay safe. Keep taking care of yourselves. Have a great evening, everyone. Thanks for sharing today with me.